So the next thing to do is to rerun that assay, and in order to do that I'll clear out the protocol at the top and I'm going to rerun that assay, and that's what this button is for. This button is the history button, and on the bottom show the files that were run and on the top the protocols. So I can simply click on this one and it will reload that same protocol, same sample. You can see 384 wells are now being loaded. And if I now want to reload the same protocol, I'll go back to the history channel and find the last one, which was this one, and now I have my protocol. So there we have it. Now I can change the window sizes here by moving these windows, and same here. And I can click on these and select any of the parameters that I'm interested in, and if I click on gate, turn this off, it'll show me all 384 wells here. And if I click on the bottom left hand corner here, it'll switch the axes, and that's quite a handy feature if you like to look at things one way or the other. Let's check out the buttons up here. This button here is the one eye button. If you open up things with one eye, then what you're going to see is only a certain percentage of cells. So if you look at the options and you see preview downsizer, you can select from 1/10 down to 1/3, and that will load only that number of cells. So it'll load every 10th, every 9th, every 8th, every 7th cell, for example. And that's very useful. Or if you want every well to have the same number of cells, then you can click here and you can select them. And that's why we call it looking with one eye. This button I've already shown is the history channel. This button removes the protocol that's here. This button loads the last save protocol. This button checks to see if there is any update, and I updated today, so there were no new updates. This button will load a new protocol. This button will save a protocol. This button is for creation of new parameters. So if you click on that and you select a parameter, for example forward scatter, and you divide forward scatter by fluorescence, or multiply it, subtract it, etc. And if you click OK, that is now going to create a complete new parameter. And you just saw that popped up here, and there it is. Log linear forward scatter divided by log JC1. Sort of meaningless, but just to show you that it's possible, and you can gate, you can analyze on that parameter. This is strictly for use with barcoding with the site-off data, and this is for use with the Curie data, where if you collect a large plate of a Curie data, it will cut off data every 1 million events. This will stitch them all back together again and put your events back into the correct wells. And this takes a time course from the Curie running with Hypercyte and builds up the file so that Plate Analyzer can analyze it. Up here on the top, it tells you the file that you're currently analyzing and the protocol that you're analyzing. This also tells you the number of cells that it's loaded. Down on this line, you have a heat map, you have a 3D map, you have a concentration curve, you show graphics here, you can look at any set of parameters across those concentrations here. This is for your spillover matrix, also for conversion of data into log, to crop outliers. For example, Curie data frequently has to have outliers crop, sometimes LSR2 data as well. You can normalized data here. You can export and import data from here. The options allows you to compute IC50s, selecting the IC50s, changing the background color here. So if you want the background color to be changed, you would, for example, if you happen to want it to be yellow, then you would change that. If you happen to want it to be white, which I prefer, then there it is there. And this is just information about the file. And over here are all the parameters that you run. So I'll come back and talk about that in the next tutorial.